Welcome everyone to our presentation regarding Master Yourself to Master Your Business. My name is Lyd Dowles and I'm working here with Mark Scherer of Encompass Life, and we will be covering a conscious guide for the entrepreneur.
Thank you, Lyd. Great to be here with you.
Likewise. So here is who we are. I am a life coach with a foundation in human design. I began my career in 2021 after making the leap from corporate America. I am passionate about fitness, parenting, relationship, and living your soul's purpose. Mark Scherer is the founder and CEO of Encompass Life. EL focuses on training individuals and teams in the application of the quantum leap technique. QLT is a system of rapid upgrades developed by Mark with over 30 years of conscious development. Mark enjoys public speaking, leadership development, team and individual training, and he does specialize in training coaches.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate working with you. Just to give you a little backstory, I started working with Mark, a few of his courses and classes that I've attended this year, and has led to a tremendous amount of awareness so that I can go into knowing and embodiment of how I am really responsible for my future and living a conscious life and being able to train my subconscious. And so we'll be kind of going a little bit into some of that with this particular presentation. So I'm excited about sharing this information with everyone in the group.
Me too. It's really, I've been in businesses been an entrepreneur since I was in my 20s, have led numerous companies. But consciousness was always something that was interesting for me throughout all my business endeavors. And sometimes I'd have success, sometimes I'd have losses. I would have, the ins and outs of what leadership was about. But something that, like I said, was really interesting for me was always a study of consciousness, intertwined all that. I was always looking for ways to improve myself. And I've studied consciousness all over the planet for the last 30 years formally, but I've been involved with consciousness since I was a kid and applying it to my life. So this comes from really a lifetime of studying in consciousness. Cool. Let's roll it.
I see that.
So remarks for business owners. Your business is a reflection of you, period. Whatever is going on in your business, if you're having struggles in your business, you're struggling on the internal side, if there's something going on inside your life, and to transform something in your outer world, you're required to transform something inside yourself. So leading organizations successfully today requires leaders to transform themselves personally. New leadership literature consists of consistent correlation between personal leader success and the leader's own level of self-mastery. The greater your level of self-mastery, the greater your success. This came from a source from Mark Mickelson and John Anderson. And here's a quote here that I really like. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. And how many people, that are always looking for something, when I get this, I'll finally be happy. When I get this, I'll finally feel successful. And they're always chasing the carrot before the donkey, and you're chasing something to look for something that's going to give you the level of whatever that feeling is on the side inside you. And no matter what happens, you get it. So you're living your life in frustration. And guess what happens when you're living your life in frustration? Woo!
Your business is frustrating.
Yeah, your business is frustrating. Your personal life is frustrating. Your balance is frustrating. All those things come out of it. So what is self-mastery? Mastering one's existence is managing relationship and producing desired results with grace, ease, and efficiency. This is achieved in these simple steps below. I mean, if everybody ever heard truth is forever simple, lies forever complex. So what we do here, we take things and boil them down to make it some very, very simple, easy to do systems to provide profound results. I love fast, fun, and easy. Since I'm from Texas, I love playing stuff really easy. So first thing, mastering your words. whatever we speak comes into existence. This isn't like religion. This is spirit. This is spiritual or quantum physics. Whatever I speak, whatever words I speak, or my becoming, mastering my feelings. If everything's going good, it's easy to feel happy or enthusiastic, but that's not when you're reshaping your world. When the chips are down and when we go into that reaction is when we're really making a difference in our world and in our life and our business. Harvard did a study and they said emotional intelligence is more important than intellect in determining a person's earning capacity. So have you ever gotten upset about something, triggered, and then maybe say something that you regret, or maybe you went silent, and then maybe 3 hours later, 3 days later, 3 weeks later, 3 months later, or maybe a decade later, you went, God, if I could have just said this, I would have been way more effective in that situation. So what we're doing here, the systems are, is about taking that and shortening that distance from where you went to reaction to where you're able to recover, because whatever that delay is a measurement of your emotional intelligence. And if we can take that and bridge that gap, we can stay effective and have a great ability to respond to life situations. The more ability you have to respond to life situations, the more responsibility you get in your life. Be it projects, be it teams, whatever, it keeps them going up. So when you start to do this, then you begin to become a master of producing your desired results. How are we doing, LA?
Wonderful, wonderful. I love it.
And this is something that I've discovered over the years. And if we can go only speak what is, and that's one of the big cornerstones in what we're doing here is, how many people do you know that go, I don't like this, I don't want this, I don't want, this doesn't work. And they have all those complaints running inside them about what they don't like and what isn't working. Stanford has done a study and they said complaining damages the neurological transmitters in the brain.
Wow.
I know. And it says that even if somebody is passively listening to a complaint, it damages that person's neurological transmitters as well. And since I'm from Texas, we like to simplify things here, and complaining makes us stupid. So and that's what, LA has been as numerous in one of our classes, and have you been able to start to see how that's affecting you in your life?
Yeah. Well, when you were giving that analogy, I was like, it was like secondhand smoke. When you're listening passively to things, we're understanding that even if you're not the one doing it, even being in the vicinity of it and have its impact and that effect.
Yep. And if somebody's listening to that and they don't say something, then that whatever's keeping them from saying something is also destroying the aliveness of the organization.
Yeah.
And
in
today's world, with as much competition that's available, that's out here, the higher, the quicker a person can, if something goes wrong, recuperate and get back in the game, that has that organization really, really, really excel. So the word not has a direct correlation to anxiety. And I have done work with thousands of people during my tenure as a coach, and I've found this to be 100% true. Anxiety, stress limits a person's intellect and all decisions. Once we're in that state of anxiety, that's in a fight or flight, reptilian brain system, sympathetic brain, and everything's made in a fight or flight response. There's no higher brain function available during that. So everything's been done as a reaction. It may produce a result, but it's like, getting somewhere where you're safe from a bear rather than actually choosing what your highest choice is for the long-term trajectory of your business. So that's That's key to be able to start to build and master your world and mastering your producing results.
Yes.
Yeah. To activate higher brain function, the individual is required to be in a state of ease before making choices. In fact, you can't make a choice when you're in flight or flight. All you can see is, run, or, I mean, it's just a
Shut
very
down.
shut down. It's a limited. You're making decisions, and something we've talked about in class is what's the difference between a decision and a choice, or decide and choice.
Ooh.
Remember all that?
Oh, yes, yes. Like
Yeah.
death.
Yep.
Death.
Insecticide, genocide, suicide, homicide, all those, you have that word, and decide, all have that word side in them, which means you're killing off something. To actually be able to make a choice, you got to be able to be where you are and see the results in that without any right or wrong involved in it. And then once you can do that, the person's in a state of ease, and then they can make a conscious choice. Then they can see other possibilities.
Right. Choice sounds way more expansive than decide. It's like decide is this or this, and that's it. Choice is like
Yeah.
opens up your field of vision even more.
Yeah. And this last statement here is really important. When somebody is speaking the word not, what we're doing is we're programming our subconscious to see what's wrong in life and also project that wrongness onto life. Our conscious mind operates at about 2,000 bits of information per second, and our subconscious mind runs at about 400 billion bits of information per second. Quite a lot of difference. Most people have programmed their subconscious to feed the conscious mind information of why can't I do anything right? And then the subconscious begins to feed that to the conscious mind over and over and over again. And what happens when they do that, the person becomes overwhelmed and in a state of depression, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry. But they're the one that's asked their subconscious to provide the answers to these questions. So when we begin to start speaking only what is and only what we choose to have coming into existence, what we're doing is we're programming our subconscious to, instead of operating from a place of complaining, our subconscious begins to automatically provide solutions for us at way faster than we can ever consciously figure out. And it's magical. I mean, I wish I would have figured this out years ago, or got this year ago. This wasn't the way I was taught about learning and how to use deductive reasoning. It's a way distant system. And the way we're doing it here, this is what we call our quantum leap techniques, where we activate the subconscious to provide all these answers for us.
Yes.
And how is it working for you?
It is. It's so different, and I love it. It's a lot quicker. It makes things much easier because I declare that they come with these, with the spoken word. I've other than chosen to do the work to be hard. If I'm speaking that my life is hard, raising my children is hard, having a business is hard, then that is what I experience. But when I choose my words and say, this is easy, it's a choice. We all have that choice. Then I find ease in everything that I do.
Yep.
That's been a very important switch.
Yeah. And
in life.
I have worked with people on this over and over again. And a lot of times they'll go, it can't be this easy. It can't be this easy.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that I've been making all this stuff hard by the way I'm speaking my words? Yes. And when somebody says it can't be this easy, they are continually creating again with those words.
Right. They're rejecting.
They're rejecting
and ease.
Yeah. What I found out is what limits people the most in their life is what they defend the most about themselves, and also what they hate the most about themselves. So for you, for a person to take their business to their next level of success, because whatever level of success you have in your leadership right now and in your business right now, it's at the limit of whatever your limiting beliefs are.
Yes.
And that's as far as you're going to get until you change a belief system, and then you'll move to your next level. But these belief systems become fluid, and once somebody can actually begin to identify them and see what they're producing in their life, instead of making them wrong and try to fight them, just be aware of it and see what they're happening, then it becomes easy to shift it. And
Yeah.
mastering our feelings. Why, by the way, I majored in engineering, and I came from a really strong background where feelings weren't really spoken about in my upbringing. How about yours?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Yeah, you want something to cry about,
Yeah, same here. You want something to cry about? Here it is. So I learned to hold all those feelings in, and not realizing that holding all that stuff in, what it was doing to me, how it was affecting my health, how it was affecting my business, how it was affecting my relationship, how it was keeping me from what I wanted the most in life, which was love and success. And all those things I was holding on to, which I hated, were limiting me. And it's really simple of how this actually works, because our body, our brain, is a bioelectrical chemical organism. Pretty simple.
Yes.
Our feelings or a sign of what's going on in our body chemistry. If we're sad or depressed, our body chemistry is way different than if we're in enthusiasm or love and appreciation and gratitude. I mean, really simple. However, we're the ones that are in control of these chemicals. They're self-produced and affect our thoughts as well as our body's overall health. Just like if you hadn't had alcohol in a while and you take a shot, you may notice you get a little giddy, and even that little bit of alcohol begins to affect the way you think.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. So what I've realized is the chemicals our body produce, most people don't realize that the chemicals are either toxic or life-giving. And since they're not ingesting something from drinking or smoking or popping a pill or whatever, they don't
Right.
realize that they have a choice of the chemical, their chemistry in their body. And so what we're doing, what this is about, is being able to master those feelings, because when we're in the state of enthusiasm, our higher brain function is in place, and we're able to see choices easily.
Mm-hmm.
And our feelings are indication of indicative of our body chemistry. Toxic feeling, lower energy. Life-giving feelings raise energy. So if you've been walking around tired, worn out after a day of work, then you're trying to do everything while struggling with some of these other feelings inside. You're not loving what you're doing. And if you're
Right.
not doing that, like, what's the point, guys? So this is really big deal. And the one thing I love about Miss LA here is she has a tremendous amount of love and passion for what she's doing. And as a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather have somebody come into my organization with a bunch of love and passion, and they can be trained to do a job, than somebody who maybe has a whole bunch of qualifications but comes in with a bitter attitude and maybe the emotional intelligence of a 10-year-old. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to be disruptive to the whole organization, no matter how adept they are
Qualified.
at their skill set.
Right. Qualified.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't talk. I can't say this about this person, or if you make a course correction, they get upset, get their feelings hurt or something. I mean, that affects the livelihood of the whole organization. And if we have a leadership that has that disruptive, reactive
Yeah.
pattern, then
Mm-hmm.
it goes into the whole organization.
Yeah. It filters down.
Sure
Yeah.
does.
So we have to really be in control of our feelings, even more so.
Yep. So rather And the way our system works, there's a lot of modalities talk about changing your thoughts. That's cool. You can do that, and you can do it over a period of time. What we're doing here is we're changing the body chemistry and the body chemistry and the brain chemistry. And as soon as we change that, the thoughts and the behavior pattern of the person changes immediately.
Yeah.
Again and again. Yeah.
Yes.
Next slide. Helly, would you choose to jump in?
Sure. So mastering of producing desired results, which is, I believe, what all entrepreneurs are doing, is to have a desired result. And so to produce a desired result, or even to become aware of the desired result, the individual is to give themselves the feeling of already producing the result. This procedure can be easily experienced. Once experienced and embodied, they become replicable to produce greater levels of success and team cohesion. So this was, yeah, this is huge. So share more on that, Mark.
Yep. Yep. Instead of most modalities, or most would have worked in the past, I'll take from my own life, as what I'd set a goal, and then I would try to figure out what was the correct way to get there. And sometimes it was trial and error, and I would have some success, and then they would blow up, and then some success, and then redo, and then it's kind of like a moving target. And what we're doing here is I give myself the feeling of having already produced a result. And once there's some telltale body signals that I can tell when I'm done it. One, my shoulders drop, I get relaxed, rather than being in the anxiety or the trying to mentally figure it out, how to get there. I drop off all the how. And I say, just feel as if I've already accomplished it. And one of the things that produces the deepest level of feeling for this for me is, what are people saying now that this result has already been produced? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? Now that we reached our goal from our team, even though we may not even know what that goal is yet, what do I love hearing from my team? Oh, wow. I love hearing, oh my God, this was so much more fun and easy than I anticipated, than I thought it was going to be. And I go, okay, then in my consciousness, even though it hasn't happened yet, I start interviewing the person. And I say, so what made it so fun and easy? Well, you created a game. I created a game. What type of game did I create? Well, you created a game that measured everyone's productivity. And as we hit these production goals, we all got to go do these little gifts or something. I mean, I'm just making this up as I'm going right now.
Right. Great example.
But I've done stuff like that, but I'm doing it on the fly with this now because, and then you can see, give yourself the feeling of your team really become united. And also, how good do you feel? Now, when you have people going, God, I love working with you. Our company is so fun. Wow, we get so much done, and everyone loves each other here and really loves what we're about. I mean, that to me is more important than money. But when this happens, money follows suit, because money, love attracts money. The higher our energy, the more money we make. If we're struggling, then the least we're going to make. It's going to be constrictive. So it's something simple,
Yeah, and one thing we did, one of the classes was the see, the hear, the smell, like really painting the picture of what you're tapping into with those results. Like, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? What are you hearing? Using all of your senses to really tap into the feeling on a deeper level. That was extremely helpful.
Yep. And then for me, I see a movie of what's coming, and then
images,
and I see images like, oh, here's what's possible. But the biggest what I've noticed for me, the biggest thing that really produces a change, like once I begun to see like what's possible with my company or what's possible in a relationship, is what characteristics do I have in my new level of success? You know, now that I've already achieved it, what changes did I make inside me that allowed this to occur? Not what changes am I going to make, what changes did I make to allow this to happen?
Past
Even,
tense.
yeah.
Yeah.
I go to the future and ask a question from my future in past tense. And once I can do that that little thing right there, instead of figuring it out, I remember it.
Remember.
Remember. And this is all about being able to remember what steps you did. And once I do them and they begin, then all this stuff starts to take place around me. Like, oh my gosh, it's just so much more fun and easy than way different than the way I used to run when I was in an engineer linear brain function.
Right.
Cool.
Well, let's practice.
Let's practice.
Yeah.
And these are just some really simple things that you can feel the difference in the way that you speak and be able to notice a difference in. And every word we speak will either thud us or lift us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the instead of this, and you can do the other one. How about it?
Perfect.
Cool. I don't know what to do.
Well, guess what? Now that I've successfully completed my project, what's the first thing I did?
But I can't. I can't. I can't do this.
I can. Yay!
This is really hard.
I love making this fun and easy. Yes.
I don't have enough time to do this.
I really love how what I require easily shows up at the perfect time. Oh my gosh. High five, Mark.
High five.
You're great.
And doing this way, I mean, it makes it so different. If you could feel, I play a little melodramatic, doing these things, but most people are in this drama and they're so in it, they don't know they're in it. I mean, when I was living this way, I was so stuck in it, I couldn't see it. So one of the techniques you could do is, instead of when somebody's doing this, you play that way more dramatic. Instead of like trying to make it wrong or get out, just play with it. Once we can bring play back into our organizations, play is health to an organization. I'm not talking, like the more play we have, the more our brain function begins to fire across the field. Our intelligence goes up, our responsiveness goes up. That's
Feel it.
Yeah, really. And one of the classes I've been involved with was, they said, though, you can measure the health of an organization by the complaining to appreciation ratio. And they said if you have a lot of organizations, they will have more complaints than they do appreciations. And they said if an organization has more complaints than they do appreciation, that organization is toxic.
Oh.
So you have to have, it has to be shifted. You have to have more appreciation than you do course corrections. And the ratio is around 6 or 7 appreciations to 1 course correction. That's where the health boundary starts of an organization. So if you're, start become aware of this, and even if it's in your organization, it's in you. So if you're going to walk around going, I can't, I don't want to, it's just really hard, then you're the one that are creating those own complaints inside yourself, and they're going to show up in your organization. So as you start to do this, notice what you're doing in your own internal dialogue as those things transfer into your organization. As you shift within, you're going to notice the organization shift as well.
Yeah. Then the whole team will be affected. So this is great. We're going right into here.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Miss LA.
All right. So Finishing up with accountability as you begin to make changes. Enroll your team in using this system. Starts with the leadership. So the more support and accountability you create, the faster and further you will go. And I'm sure you've heard of the phrase, misery loves company. I know I have. Well, so does enthusiasm and high performance. So which type of leadership and culture do you choose? I know which one I choose. So the choice is always yours.
Yep. And in my organization, which I have a team of coaches, what we're doing here is if I have something going on with me, my team has permission to, in fact, not only permission, I encourage them to please let me know, because I have blind spots too. And if somebody calls me on something, my goal, my commitment to myself is I immediately make the change.
Yeah.
If I choose for my team to immediately make the change, I require to demonstrate that own skill set for myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
leadership is doing it first. It's not having pushing everyone else. It's doing it first for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So anything
Yes.
else, Miss LA, as we wrap this up?
Oh, I think we covered all of the bases. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Have fun. Really enjoy. Try this out. Try it out as if you're playing a game with your company, and just see what type of results you produce. The more fun you have, the more fun you have. So that's it.
I
I thank
agree.
y'all for attending this, and blessings.
Thank you.
You're welcome.